Your cheat meal isn't failing because of the calories. It's failing because of a biological short circuit I call the shame spiral. Think about the last time you sat down to a bad meal. You probably felt a mix of excitement and intense guilt. That guilt isn't just an emotion, it's a chemical signal. When you eat high-density food while feeling like you're sinning, you flood your system with cortisol. Cortisol is the body's storage commander. In the presence of high blood sugar, cortisol tells your body to take every single gram of that pizza and lock it directly into your visceral belly fat. Today, we are moving from dieting to metabolic management. I'm giving you the guilt-free hack, a series of 4 technical overrides that allow you to eat the food you love while actually triggering a metabolic reset. We're going to talk about the glucose shunt, the fiber mesh, and how to talk to your brain before the first bite. This is how you use a meal to spike your metabolism without spiking your waistline. Let's look at the wiring. Why your metabolism actually wants you to eat. To understand why we're doing this, we have to look at your body like a high-performance furnace. If you stop putting wood in the furnace for too long, the fire dies down to a tiny ember to save fuel. This is what happens when you diet for weeks at a time. Your body has a hormone called leptin. Think of leptin as the fuel meter in your brain. When you eat very little for a long time, your fuel meter hits E. Your brain panics. It slows down your thyroid, drops your body temperature, and cranks up your hunger. This is the weight loss plateau. You're doing everything right, but the scale won't move because your internal furnace is barely burning. A strategic high-density meal, what people call a cheat meal, is actually a metabolic spike. It's like tossing a gallon of gasoline onto those dying embers. It tells your brain, the famine is over. We have plenty of energy. You can start burning fat again. The problem? Most people toss the gasoline on, but they don't know how to control the fire. They end up burning the house down, storing fat, instead of heating the furnace, burning fat. Here is how we control the flame. The preload. 15 minutes before. Most people walk into a big meal in a state of food panic. You're starving, you're stressed, and you're ready to inhale everything in sight. In this state, your nervous system is in fight or flight mode. Your body thinks it's being chased by a predator, so it shuts down your digestion to save energy for your muscles. If you eat a heavy meal while your digestion is shut down, the food just sits there. It ferments, causes bloating, and triggers a massive inflammatory response. The protocol: 15 minutes before the meal, drink a warm cup of sage or peppermint tea. The why in plain English. Sage is a stress killer. It's been shown to lower cortisol and help your body handle sugar better. Peppermint is like a muscle relaxer for your gut. By drinking this 15 minutes early, you are performing a somatic reset. You are telling your brain, it's okay, we're safe, you can start the digestive engines now. This clears the biological static, so your body is ready to process the food, not just store it as an emergency backup. The fiber mesh, the gastric filter. The biggest danger of a cheat meal is speed. It's not just what you eat, it's how fast it hits your blood. If you eat a bowl of pasta on an empty stomach, your blood sugar hits the ceiling in minutes. Your body sees this as an emergency and dumps a huge amount of insulin to save your organs. Think of insulin as the gatekeeper of your fat cells. When insulin is high, the gates to your fat cells are locked wide open for storage, and the gates for burning fat are welded shut for the next 2 days. The protocol: you must eat a buffer of soluble fiber before the main event. This means a cup of leafy greens, some broccoli, or a few spoons of beans before the pizza or pasta. The why, in plain English: soluble fiber creates a thick gel in your stomach. Imagine it like a coffee filter. When the heavy, sugary food arrives, it has to pass through this filter. This slows down the sugar's entry into your blood. Instead of a blood sugar spike, you get a blood sugar hill. Your insulin stays low, the fat gates don't lock, and your body stays in a state where it can actually burn off the extra energy. The 22 rule, the dopamine hack. Why do we always want one more slice? It's usually because the brain hasn't registered the reward yet. There is a phase of digestion called the cephalic phase. This is the brain-to-belly connection. If you inhale your food, you bypass the brain's sensors. Your stomach gets physically full, but your brain is still hungry for the dopamine hit it was promised. This is how a single meal turns into a 3-day bender. The protocol. Every single bite of your cheat meal must be chewed 20 times. No exceptions. The why in plain English. Chewing is a mechanical signal to your brain. It triggers the release of a hormone called CCK, which is the stop eating signal. By slowing down, you give your brain time to experience the dopamine pulse. You get more pleasure out of less food. You walk away feeling satisfied instead of stuffed and guilty. You've hacked your own reward system to work for you, not against you. The glucose shunt, the post-meal walk. After the meal, your blood is full of energy, glucose. Your body has to decide right now where to put it. Choice A, your fat cells. Choice B, your muscles. If you sit on the couch and watch TV, your body chooses choice A. You're not using your muscles. So the body assumes the energy is extra and stores it as fat. The protocol. 10 minutes after your last bite, you must move for 10 minutes. A brisk walk, some air squats, or even just pacing around the house. The why in plain English. We call this the glucose shunt. When you move your muscles right after eating, they open up like a sponge. They start soaking up the sugar in your blood to use for fuel. By moving, you are literally redirecting the calories away from your waistline and into your legs and core. You aren't burning off the meal. You are telling your body to use it as high-performance fuel for your recovery. The cleanup crew, cleaning the engine. We have to talk about the aftermath. Most restaurant cheat foods are cooked in cheap seed oils and processed fats. These are like sludge in your engine. They cause internal inflammation, which shows up the next morning as a puffy face, brain fog, and a 3-pound jump on the scale. That 3 pounds isn't fat, it's inflammation water. Your body is trying to dilute the toxins. The protocol. This is why we created the 25 Natural Remedies Guide. To survive a cheat without the sludge, your liver needs specific cleanup agents. Herbs like dandelion root and milk thistle are like the maintenance crew for your liver. They help your body flush out the inflammatory markers before they can trigger fat storage. If you're trying to use these hacks without supporting your liver, you're trying to drive a Ferrari with a clogged oil filter. You need the technical repair manual, the guide, to make sure your hardware can handle the metabolic spike we're creating. The link is in the description. Don't let the sludge stop your progress. Identity shift from sinner to operator. The most important part of this entire process is how you think about yourself. The word cheat implies you're doing something wrong. It makes you feel like a sinner who has to be punished on Monday. This guilt is what leads to the shame spiral. We are replacing that guilt with neural sovereignty. You are a biological operator. When you use the sage tea, the fiber mesh, and the glucose shunt, you are in the driver's seat. You didn't mess up. You conducted a metabolic refeed. This removes the emotional weight of the food. You eat the meal, you run the protocol, and you wake up the next morning back in your fat-burning routine. No guilt, no starting over. You never stopped. You just adjusted the variables. The new way to win. The old way of weight loss was calories in versus calories out. It treated you like a calculator, and it failed. The new way, the purple cloud way, is biological management. Your body is a complex chemical plant, and you just learned how to manage the controls, reset the stress with sage tea, filter the sugar with fiber, hack the reward with slow chewing, shunt the energy with movement, stop being a passenger in your own body, start being the operator. In our next video, stop obsessing over food, the 10-minute brain declutter. We're going to look at the brain wiring that causes food noise, that constant thinking about your next meal. I'm going to show you how to physically delete those thoughts using a 10-minute neural reset. Until then, eat with intention. You are the driver, not the passenger. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and follow, and I'll see you in the next one.